I guess. So, those of you haven't been here for a while, apparently I got to floor 60 before bailing. I don't remember, but this is my personal file. So it might have been something. It's probably something I've done my own time. Goal is to get to floor 100 of the classic pit. Definitely not going to happen this stream, but we're going to be working towards that. Actually, what was that for roguelike? I think like my roguelike time is broken. Not sure why. Don't think transitioning between different files would be the source of that, but you never know. Anyways, like, I think all you really miss is I got a badge before jumping in. I don't even remember which badge it was. Maybe it was damage dodge? If so, I wouldn't mind, like, having that plop in here. You know what? I mean, compared to everything else I could get rid of, that's fine. It gives me an excuse to tattle. Oh, but oh man, I wish I had quick change. Like, I feel so naked without quick change. It's like part of my Paper Mario experience to always have quick change equipped. And alas, that's not a luxury that I have currently. Start classic. So, roguelike is, well, roguelike. Classic is more like your typical Pit of 100 Trials from 1,000 Year Door and beyond, where you take on 1,000 floors and it's a remix of all the enemies you see along the way, a few new twists, and then you fight a super boss at the very end. Maybe I'll have to remember to swap to a partner. Oh yeah, not gonna make the same mistake as before, where like floors 1 to blank or so, you don't really even get to do anything. And I'm also cool right before I start. Let me triple check to make sure I still have a stream, because everything says it's fine, but I did just get a notification in the window saying something is wrong. And of course, as you might suspect, it's concerning when you're told that something is wrong. But from what I can see, everything is fine. So yeah, 2 things I'm gonna try to alleviate from the past. 1, remembering that stylishes exist, and that's how I'm going to refill my star gauge, so I don't really have any need to be stingy about it, like use star powers whenever I can. And 2, like, I think I had like tried to use Bo because she's best partner, but then I like ran into all of these enemies, probably more like Chapter 2 enemies or so, that had all the defense, and it's like, well, she's not gonna do anything here. So we're like, FP go boom, and it'll be fine because I can just refresh the FP back on. Also, I needed to start, because it's classic pit, I should start paying attention to Ralph on the earlier floors. That way, if he has a good enough item, I can just get it. I'm actually kind of wondering if I'm high enough in stats for the end of Classic Pit, because, like, 30 FP, yeah, that seems reasonable to deal with. 25 FP seems a little low, but I do have access to the basic trinity. And I got a decent amount of badges, and I'm fully upgraded in Mario's capabilities and all the partners that matter. Sorry, Parakarry. Oh, that's right, I was gonna refresh, wasn't I? And do I waste FP just to avoid taking 1 HP of damage? Yeah, especially when I'm gonna just refresh next go around. And actually, these are freaking Goombas we're talking about. I may not even need to worry about taking the damage. Ah. I should have swapped those so that way I could refresh. We'll do it next floor, I guess. You know, I'm glad that it's one of those... I was pretty confident that this is going to be one of those days where I'm like... I'm not feeling up to streaming. And even if I do stream, I'm not going to be feeling up to streaming. Even though I say that almost every time I stream, and I end up feeling up to streaming as I actually start the streaming. So... how much do you do with a body slam anyways, Bombette? Oh, a little early. It's been so long since I've actually played Black Pit proper. And I'm probably going to need a minute or two to get back into the swing of actually using stylish and all that. Really cool mechanic, and that alone is kind of making me curious to actually play Paper Mario TYD whenever it comes around. I feel I mentioned it at the end of the randomizer though, but there is a lot of Paper Mario stuff that I gotta catch up on. Someday I'll get back in the swing of getting the double stylishes with Bombette and all that. It's also like the first 10 floors, so I'm pretty sure we'll have plenty of time to get that star power back anyways. So yeah. May have mentioned it at the beginning of some of the other streams, but got Falcon Your Door randomizer, or that is apparently a thing. It's not really a thing that I'm interested in, especially considering I don't really got... It's been so long since I've played Falcon Your Door in general, I never be able to handle all that mess. That does remind me that Infinite Pit exists, and that is a mod that I want to look into eventually. I mean, I completely forgot about it until I was just started talking about Falcon Your Door stuff. But yeah, like, if I'm gonna get back into Falcon Your Door, that feels like a pretty good way to do so. Just because I can get into the mechanics of it and not really have to worry about the story and all. But we'll see. As for the mods and all that, like, wow. I should be more concerned, but I just know there was a little speedy, itty bitty tiny crawly wally. Did I really just jump on a spike Goomba? I mean, I am full on FP again. I really should be using Cooper though, because Cooper's the one that's got the... Oh, why did I go for Bomb? I started with Power Bomb, got wishy-washy and was gonna go for the Body Slam, but apparently I didn't move the trigger twice in a certain direction. Welp. But yeah, like, I still gotta play Master Quest in some shape or form. Well, so much for that spell. Kinda don't want to get through this. And it's not Paper Mario, but like, it feels like there's... Maybe it's not all Paper Mario like I thought, but there is a lot of different things that I want to go through. I completely forgot about the thing I wanted to do after I finished recording Coliseum Randomizer. Partly because I'm still not sure if I want to make that a stream series or recording it off stream. And if I record off stream, would I have the time and patience to actually organize a little special, or do I just do it on my own? lot to throw around there. At this point, I'm pretty much gonna give up on my plans of trying to turn Master Quest into. I guess that's safe to talk about because I'm probably never gonna happen at this point. But I'm just like, I've been thinking about trying to get into co-commentaries again. But it's just like, I'm terrible at lining my schedule up with other people. That's kind of the biggest reason why I'm not more involved in collaborations in general. I just like, it feels like I have so little time, and when it does line up, I just don't have the energy to reach out to friends or other people I know that ask about that sort of stuff. So, like, I guess if I do Master Quest Jr., I can just do it on my own, and, like, because I thought it'd be cool to, like, do as a co-com to get friends involved and actually show people who've never seen this stuff before what it's about, but I think if I'm really that desperate, I could just show them it on my own time. Do I want to pick up any of this stuff now? I don't feel like I'm really hurting for HP healing, and I could probably do better. Payoff. The more damage Mario takes, the more coins he gets. Don't I already have a badge like that? Payoff. Coin quicker. 50%. Oh, this is if I do without getting hurt. This is for if I do get hurt. Oh, I should really be incentivizing trying to one-shot things more. You do upgrades, but you don't have enough for that. And I guess we'll just keep pushing forward. And I really wish I had a multi-jump at this point, and I guess I could be spamming Dizzy Shell a little more. That is definitely an option. Especially in this one, like, the whole point is that it's moves that are just, like, all status conditions stop the foe from attacking, and there's not really any diversity between this few. I'm guessing they get the idea from Fasten Your Door, but that's kind of one thing I like about a lot of Paper Mario. A lot of the hard mode Paper Mario mods these days, like, the fact they actually do the different effects like Dizzy and Paralyzation and Sleep, all doing slightly different things. And that's kind of like, when I actually get back into working on my Paper Mario mod, I really should reach out to either Shadeblade or one of the other people who've actually worked on this sort of stuff to try to finish getting the status conditions in my project working again, because I guess it's a good time as any. Like, I think I got a little bit of burnout. That's why I, like, haven't done anything with it in the past couple days. I mean, like, considering today in particular, I'm not feeling like doing much of anything. It's not too shocking. Like, I did make a good chunk of progress right before I got burned out, so I don't mind. I feel pretty confident taking a day or two off, especially on a work day. But I think I've just given up trying to get something released as soon as possible, and I'm just gonna take my time and maybe combine the Phase 1, Phase 2 idea I had into one phase, where, like, instead of just trying to fix the bugs and release it, and then release it again when I actually add all the extra content, maybe I'll just wait until the majority of the extra content is added in before releasing it. Or at least, like, finish making all the moves that I wanted to make. And then, like, if I really want to do a second update, I can do it when the post game is ready. And, I mean, it's nothing official, just thoughts pondering around in my head, just saying things that, like, fill the dead air in ways beyond, oh, A, B, and Z is happening, and Z, Y, and X, and so forth, so forth. So much for getting through this with no damage. The sucky part is I could have done it without taking any damage perfectly easily if I just took the precaution to dizzy. It's like I shouldn't really be worried about conserving FP quite yet. It's the early floors. Ugh. Yeah, and I think like part of it is like I want to get back to working on Golden Sun modding. Like I'm not giving up on my project with Paper Mario, but I think I wouldn't mind like taking it back a little bit. I was gonna like just push exclusively on working on the Paper Mario project until I got the little stuff, until I got that phase 1 thing done, and then like slow down and work on Golden Sun alongside it when I'm working on phase 2. But maybe I'll just do that now. Alright. Of course, this is a good of time as any to have the partner that doesn't flip over enemies. I guess it doesn't matter because he one-shots them anyways. Well. And I'm almost back up to full FP and I'm almost full on star power. Like, it feels like a waste to use a refresh at this point, and yet there's not really too much else I'd be doing with my style. It's just that too much longer in. How about I try burning some FP to actually get that extra payout? That sounds like a good use of my FP. Hop down here, pressing onwards. What else is going on? Like, with yesterday, I was kind of feeling, I wasn't really feeling too creative yesterday either, so I just spent a good chunk of the day after work playing Golden Sun. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised about how much I've actually been bouncing between all 3 Golden Sun games lately. Like, a couple days ago, over the weekend especially, I actually got back into my girls only run of Dark Dawn, which, funny enough, is still kind of easy. Like, back when it was only when Karis was the only female party member, it was kind of rough, and I actually had to grind for a painful amount of time for certain bosses. But like, of course, when Savetta, as soon as Savetta joined the party, the game became easy mode. Because freaking Savetta is just broken like that. I do like this challenge run because it also makes me use Himi. And a lot of you are probably going, Himi who? Exactly. Like, she's literally the last party member you get in Dark Dawn. She almost has... She has a pathetic amount of plot relevance. Like, she basically joins your party so you get a reveal knockoff, and she barely plays a role in a lot of the dialogues. This is a shame because I really appreciate the backstory and the character design that they have for her, and there's a neat demographic about her being the first and only female Venus adept in the entire Golden Sun series, well, at least playable, and 2, I think she's like one of the youngest party members to ever be in a Golden Sun game, and that does bring, those 2 things alone have some potential for good narratives. But Dark Dawn is just Dark Dawn is Dark Dawn. It's actually kind of funny. I was gonna wait until I actually did a bit more of it, but on and off, like, I've been working on a little bit of a rewrite of Dark Dawn's story because, like, exactly how bad the story is a little subjective, but like, I feel like a lot of, I have to ask some more Dark Dawn fans, but I think like the narrative, for me personally, the story is one of the weaker aspects of Dark Dawn, and I don't know if you really find anyone that would argue that its narrative is stronger than either the two first Golden Sun games. And Golden Sun's kind of weird, because I wouldn't say it has a bad story as a series, but it's always one of those things where, like, a lot of the plot, it's a basic plot synopsis, but a lot of the details with Golden Sun as a whole, plot-wise, comes from the world building and just appreciating all the little details, which unfortunately get padded out a bit more than it needs to. While I'm here though, let's check up on the shop. Yeah, talking about, of course I'm going to talk about it on a Paper Mario video, but I think overall, a big problem with Dark Dawn is that it has all the basics from the other Golden Sun games. It has everything from the other Golden Sun games overall, for better and for worse, including some of the stuff that kind of should have been considered aged and lost in the past. Oh, of course, I don't have Untitled. Give me a moment. This might take a little focus. Do I spin smash? I don't know if it's really even gonna matter. I want to try it, but I don't think it will matter, because I think, like, the dude in the back has enough defense for this. Oh, it does go for defense. Lucky me for that. Now, if this is enough to actually take out the piranha plant, then this might not have been a terrible idea. I kind of think the guy would have gone down either way, but let me just pretend otherwise. I really should have Bombette. Let's get Bombette out here now. I can recover my FP in another battle, I suppose. And it's like, Dark Dawn kind of gets a lot of flack, because it is the weakest game in the series. If you ask a general Golden Sun fan, a lot of them will tell you it's a bad game, but I kind of feel like bad is too strong of a word for it. It's a weak... It's bad for a Golden Sun game, I guess, no, but that's even hard to say, because, like, if you compare it to other games that are considered bad for their series, like Nuts and Bolts, it doesn't really feel like a fair comparison, because, like, say what you will, but Dark Dawn at least has everything. It has the framework of your typical Golden Sun game. Like, everything if you love Golden Sun, everything from a mechanic standpoint you like about Golden Sun is in Dark Dawn. They don't slouch on that. I'd love to interrupt. I hate to interrupt this. Oh, hey Archie. Hate to interrupt this rant about a completely different game, but I don't think we ever got introduced to a mover before. So, to the entrance. Not sure why we want to go back, but we skip along there. Now, how's it going, by the way? I'm just chilling and trying to get back in this swing of bi-weekly streams. Once upon a time, it was a thing, and I almost wasn't gonna do a bi-weekly stream today, but I managed to talk myself into it last minute. Oh, go. Yeah, do I still play Pokemon Go, I presume? The answer is technically yes, but not enough to really talk about it. Like, I'll keep up with community days, sort of. I still follow enough people to not be completely in the dark of what's going on, but there has been times I missed out on events completely just because I paid that little attention to the game in general. But like, if you're asking for sake of conversation, then go ahead. I don't mind talking about Pokemon Go. I don't really have plans to do content for it on the channel anymore, because I'm not that into it. It's kind of just like, biggest reason I haven't completely given up on Go is that it's a good way to just keep me walking and moving. Thanks, mover. That floor went by like practically nothing. If nothing else, we are getting some nice badges from all this. I kind of want to finish my general... I feel like one day I will play Dark Dawn, probably as a video series, but maybe even as a stream series. And then I'll go into all the details of just how I feel about the game. Because it's a complicated relationship, to put it lightly, but I do overall enjoy it. It's just the criticism people have of it is valid criticism overall. Like, some of it is a little over-exaggerated, but I kind of see where a lot of angles of that come from. That's the short version of my Dark Dawn rambling. Alright, do I want to buy this Jam and Jelly now? Do I really want an FP healing item exclusive? Do I agree it's not the same game as a few years ago? I guess, but I don't know if that's the reason I fell off of it. You find yourself playing it less and less? Yeah, I can kind of see that. Like, I don't know how much of it is that the game is different, because there's definitely things different about Go. So like, I agree with your sentiment, but I feel like a lot of interest in Go hasn't necessarily been like, oh, the game is not what it used to be. It's kind of more the community is not what it used to be. Like, part of it is because of the game, but there's been a lot... The community just hasn't felt as fun to be in as it used to be. There's a lot more... the cynicism with Pokemon Go was always there, but it kind of just feels harder to be with it. And plus, like, a lot of it is with my personal connections outside of the internet, and I just really haven't been interested in reconnecting with the local community, even though Pokemon Go insists that the world is, without getting too political, that like I am not completely comfortable with being out in the public yet, and yet that comfort doesn't exactly line up with what Pokemon Go feels is my comfort. Like, I'm kind of feeling like 2016, 2017 again, where like I like to play the game and walk around and all that, and meanwhile the company is like pushing the whole social agenda, and I'm just like, dude, I just want a fun excuse to go out and walk, and your app that lets me catch little Pokemon as I'm walking around is a fun excuse for all that. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I guess I just like I haven't even been with the podcast as much as I used to. Like, in the past few months, I've been easing myself back into the podcast. Like, there was a solid chunk of time that I didn't listen to any podcasts at all. But like the past couple of months, I've like tuned into an episode of one, tuned into an episode of another, here and there. I just haven't quite got to the point where I'm consistently listening to it. Plus, it doesn't help that I'm working from home more. So, like, a lot of the time that, while I definitely have plenty of time to listen to stuff while I work, because I actually have an internet connection and access to internet connection. Long story short, I find myself tuning in, like, YouTube video series and streams that I've been meaning to watch or listen to on my audio time more than an actual podcast. Like, I've kind of been getting back into the swing of things with just like, when I go walking on Community Day, I'll sometimes pull up a Pokemon Go podcast stream. Like, not literally Pokemon Go podcast, but like any of the three that I still listen to. But a lot of times, like, if there's nothing else for me to listen to, I kind of start a new job where I don't get to listen to podcasts. Yeah, that's kind of tough. Like, when you don't have access to your phone at work, it kind of makes it hard to actually keep up with things. Like, I work from home, and it's like, but I'm not too. I don't feel too guilty about like using my phone, because even when I did work at the office, they would let me listen to something. Like, as long as I kept my phone in my pocket, I could listen to things as I work, and that was a lot of it just because of that was the type of work I do. I do the type of work where I can still be just as productive if I'm listening to something in the process. And like now that I'm working from home, it kind of just is easy to take it to the next level and still be just as productive, by the way, on the off chance anyone is listening. Man, I got so fixated on the rambling that I haven't been paying attention to my FP count like I should be. But yeah, like, let's get a refresh in here just so I don't... So all the stylishes I'm doing to get my star power back aren't completely in waste. Working mail and forklifts. Yeah, I can see why they would want you to keep focus on the forklifts for a job like that. Oh, there's the stylish. I kind of dance around the whole thing without getting too personal, but I guess the long story short is, like, it took a lot of work to convince them to let me work from home, because I used to do a lot of, like, more physical stuff, but I have really been enjoying actually working from home now that I have the luxury, and I feel like my employers have noticed my hard work, both before and after I started working from home, that they've been able to let me keep working from home, even though pandemic priorities aren't as pushed as they used to be. And that is something I try very hard not to take for granted, because it certainly makes queuing for the workday easier when I can listen to a podcast or a video, or even when I need to concentrate a bit more, just listen to music. All that stuff is there. Yeah, mail. Yeah, all the mail confined things and that. That's like the same reason why they wouldn't let me have my phone out while I was working in the office. And I had to just literally listen to things, and if I want to step away and change something, I had to actually... Like, I couldn't, like, take out my phone to change the channel or the song unless I actually stepped away. So it's nice to... That's something that's not as worried about when I'm working from home, and I can appreciate it for that. Alright. I kind of like... kind of just making things a little awkward myself just talking about work. So you don't mind if I'm tangenting back to the game. Like, you probably at least get a lot of walking in for all the mail deliveries and that. And that's kind of cool. Like, tangenting back to Pokemon Go, I am still like level 47 or whatever, even though I have the experience to move on to the next one, because I'll admit, ever since I started working from home, I have not been as good with walking as I used to be. Like, usually, back in the old days, like, at least doing 25 kilometers a week was a non-issue, but even on weeks where there's a community day, I've noticed I've almost never actually done no walking proper. And that kind of sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck as much since I'm not as worried about the game anymore. Like, I've given up on the Pokédex a while ago, and that alone kind of alleviated a lot of stress that comes with that sort of thing. Cool, it's one of these rooms, and this is definitely an enemy like that is certainly something that I love to have an attack boost on. Getting a first strike like that off is definitely worthwhile, though. Okay. You know what? Refresh to get a tiny bit extra FP. Oh, do I have the Happy Flower badge? I should probably double check if I do, because I definitely could use the gradual FP recovery. it feels like a hot... Yeah, I'm getting the HP recovery, and I don't even need it. You know what? Save a little FP, get rid of you. I'll take my chances with the Shy Guy, even though he's boosted. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Gonna be frank. Next battle. And then just hammer to finish you off. Play soccer, do training at least once a week, but just work alone and hit 22 kilometers on the first 2 days. Yeah, that's really nice. So that 50 kilometers stuff or whatever is probably a non-issue. Let me double check. Okay, I have Happy Heart, but I don't have Happy Flower. But I don't really think that there's a badge I urgent... Group Focus is... Oh, that's right, in this mod, like, Focus doesn't exist at all, so, like, all these badges just boost stylishes. I guess if I'm getting star power more quickly, then I won't really need the HP recovery. I guess I could change my badges along the way. Well, I'll use this. I don't need this, but I can't think of anything else to use the single FP point on. Yeah, you can do over 100 kilometers on just work alone. That's fantastic. I think I've heard this. I think I've heard your stories on other podcasts before, because I specifically remember mail delivery and all that, and that being quite a cinch. I guess I could buy partners, but do I want to upgrade Paracarry? Like, when am I gonna use Air Raid? I won't just use Power Bomb instead. It's actually Paracarry character-wise isn't a bad character. He's just he gets very outclassed by everyone else very easily, especially since in this mod, like, all the partners' moves are based on the original N64 release. Oh, okay. This seems to be where we got the good stuff. Like, Flux Feast is pretty... Oh, do I... For my levels, like, this is almost the same amount of recovery as this because of how low, but it's only like 10 coins more. I got the money to burn, so I think I'm gonna buy a Deluxe Feast, because I think I'm gonna especially need the items for the later floors. If I really am convinced of going all the way with these stats, I'm just gonna trim cake just so I have a HP recovery.